We just got some massive news about Assetto Corsa Evo, and trust me, it's starting to sound like everything is going to change. Assetto Corsa is known for its realism and immersion, mixed in a sandbox type experience where anything is possible, and Kunos is about to take this to the next level. So let's dive into it and see why it's about to evolutionise the genre. Let's start with everyone's favourite topic, customization. In a recent interview, Kunos founder Marco Massarutto hinted that customization will be coming to Evo. Yes, you heard that right. However, it's probably not in the way you'd expect it to be. Sure, customizable body kits, rims and massive wangs would be cool, but what I think he's hinting at could be far deeper and more profound. Marco said that cars will undergo evolutions defined by the users. Now, it is quite vague and translated from Italian, however, given the context, it's very possible that instead of simple visual changes, this evolution may be more subtle, and there might be performance shifts depending on how you drive. Just imagine this. After a long season of gruelling races, your engine might start to get worn, or your suspension might sag, and parts might start to fail if you drive particularly rough. This is very much a thing we see in real life. And it's even known that a car can almost get used to your driving style. And if this is what they're aiming for, I am all for it. It wouldn't just be a simulator anymore, it would be an experience. It would create an unprecedented level of connection between you and your car. You'd have a relationship with it, just like in real life. Hell, you might even give it a name and start talking to it mid-race. I think that this would be pretty cool. I even made a video about this a few months ago, saying it was exactly what sim racing needed. Instead of just picking a car and a track, you'd actually have an emotional connection to whatever you're driving. And to reinforce this, he also said that each car has their own characteristics, trim, value, and history. Now the last two are interesting because it kind of hints that we're going to be able to build a garage and there'll be a player economy. But that's not it. Marco also teased something maybe more exciting. He said that in Evo, the driver evolves in terms of experience, statistics, ranking, car fleet, and licenses. To me, this sounds like they're going the route of iRacing, where you start in a shitbox like an MX-5 and work your way up to the top, eventually racing something like F1. I just hope that you don't have to pay $15 real life dollars for every car. But realistically, it sounds as if there'll be some kind of in-game economy where you have to purchase your cars alongside ranking up your licenses, which can only be a good thing for public lobbies. All the Lance Strolls of the world will be permanently stuck in the lower classes, thank God. While none of this is confirmed yet, here's where things start to get juicy. I was lucky enough to receive some leaks about the game about half a year ago. Now, I wasn't sure what to do with them at the time because they seemed so far-fetched. But after this interview and the trailer, they're almost scarily accurate. They suggest that we might see a player-driven market, maybe even side jobs like pizza deliveries or taxi laps to earn in-game cash and experience. It sounds wild, but these leaks are almost starting to seem legit, especially when we talk about the most requested feature for Assetto Corsa Evo, free roam. Fans have been asking this for about as long as I can remember. And while it's not confirmed yet, we have reasons to be hopeful, and quite a few. The latest trailer shows a couple of public highways, and perhaps AI traffic. Now we did get a public roadmap in the original Assetto, and it wasn't free roam, just a stretch of road. However, with the evolving cars and perhaps ecosystem that has been hinted at, open world style features could be more than plausible. Assetto Corsa 1 just reached its peak amount of players this year, 10 years after release, and for the most part, this was thanks to the open world experiences such as Shotoko. So it would be smart for Kunos to cash in on their newly found user base. But here's where things get even more interesting. While ACE clearly still has track racing in it, a free roam does coincide nicely with some of the leaks I received. They stated there would be free roam around iconic tracks such as the Nürburgring. And let me blow your mind for a moment, if we zoom into this wing mirror in the trailer, doesn't that kinda look like a German town? Perhaps the town of Nürburg, besides the Nürburgring. I'm dropping my mic right now, metaphorically. Now with all the information you've received so far, picture this. A career mode where you start on the streets in a bone stock car. You complete jobs such as the pizza deliveries or street races to rank up your license. Then you head to a track, and with the ever-evolving cars, you might strip the interior or fit a roll cage and compete in circuit races. Potentially, you could take that car you started with up to some pretty serious levels of motorsport. Of course, all of this is speculation, but I'm just connecting the dots here, okay? Don't blame me. The leaker also mentioned there'll be other locations such as Italy and Japan, and some speculation that France, England, and the United States will also be present. And of course, I don't need to tell you about all the fantastic tracks these countries have. But look, even if the career mode thing isn't true, which it totally is by the way, having a free roam mode would push the sim racing genre into totally new territory. It would combine the freedom of, say, the likes of Forza Horizon with the depth of a real sim racer. Even if it's just partial open world elements, it would be better than anything we've got before. BeamNG is probably the closest thing to this, and while its crash physics are good, the driving ones are still somewhat simcade. There's certainly a gap in the market for an open world-ish, proper simulation. But now it's time for the big one, modding. And thankfully, it's mostly good news. Marco Massarutto mentions they'll be going back to their own proprietary engine, one designed to support modding from the ground up. Kunos is giving freedom back to the community after their ASSETTO CORSA Competizione escapade, and hopefully, and it's sounding like it'll be far easier to create mods too. Mods have kept ASSETTO CORSA alive for pretty much a decade at this point, and EVO will build on that. However, now it's time for the bad news. Kunos plans to control what types of mods are allowed. This could limit the Wild West modding culture we've grown used to. It's likely there'll be far fewer mods created by only a handful of selected modders. It could possibly lead to there being a total monopoly held by the likes of RSS, VRC or Lilski, who already create the best mods, and it'll be far harder for new modders to break through. Also, it does mean we probably won't be getting anything that isn't licensed. For instance, if Toyota don't want their cars in AC Evo, nobody's going to be modding in an AE86 or a Supra anytime soon. It's the same for tracks and real-life roads. This, plus the monopoly, could mean AC Evo's modding scene never reaches the same heights as AC, possibly causing it to die in the worst case scenario. But on the plus side, it should ensure quality content, and even though the mod scene may become more regulated, the potential is still huge. Think of BeamNG's mod repository, high quality mods, and although you can't upload licensed cars, there's still a bunch available. And Kunos seems to be aiming for the same kind of thing with Evo. And although you can't download licensed cars from the repository, you can still download them online and install them manually, which is hopefully what happens in ACE. So that is all we know about ASSETTO CORSA EVO so far. Does this excite you? Let me know what you think in the comments, and remember, all of this is just speculation for the moment. Don't pre-order or anything. Anyway, subscribe for more ASSETTO CORSA EVO